Hello, happy Halloween, one and all. Hope everyone is doing well today. Um, Day Lady here, Sharon Schultz, coming to you from Ellicott City, Maryland. Um, Ellicott City is one of the most haunted cities in Maryland, probably the most haunted city on the East Coast, maybe the most haunted city in the country. There is a lot of paranormal activity here, according to the paranormal experts, anyway. And so that's where we will begin on this lovely Halloween. I'll tell you, I picked a great time to come to Ellicott City because it is packed full of people. As a matter of fact, let me turn my camera around so you can see all this activity while I am talking to you. Hang on. There we go. Right. Uh, Welcome to Ellicott City, Halloween in Ellicott City. Would you look at the costumed crowds? Check it out. All right. Trick or treat. What, what did my kids used to say? Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Yeah, yeah, okay. Right on, right on. All right, well, time to get ready to get moving here. I have a nice little spot out of the way, but I'm going to have to abandon it shortly here. Just some more information, real quick, before we begin this little virtual Halloween tour. All of my tours, my virtual tours, are tip based. So that's how I get funding to put gas in my car to come to lovely places like Ellicott City. If you would like to send your gratuities my way, it would be gratefully appreciated, greatly appreciated. On my Facebook page, which is The Bay Lady, you'll find a link to Buy Me a Coffee. That is where I can accept donations, gratuities, what have you. You can also find the link to that website to buy me a coffee on my YouTube page, which is Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady. Look at all these cool costumed people here. A potato. My goodness. I got a potato. Crazy. Potato or candy? Check them out. All right, let's go. Let's go on down Main Street here, and we can look at costumes and listen to some spine chilling tales. Right? Get everybody trick or treating. They got lines. Cool beans. That's all I can say. Oh, look, here we go. The judges bench. Okay. Oh, look, it's got a nice little area out here, too. Nice little garden bar area. Okay, so about the judges bench, let's take a look at this building here. Okay, so this sweet building has some history. It's one of the older buildings here. Hang on here, let me okay. It's one of the oldest neighborhood bars, actually. As a matter of fact, in the 1970s, I worked here in Ellicott City at the courthouse high up on the hill. You can see the cupola on top there. And we would come down here for lunch. They had great lunch specials. Anyway, before that, however, this was part of a land grant, part of the Mount Misery package in the 1700s. The oldest census they could find in 1880, it shows that this address was a confectionery shop and had a family living in the apartment above it. The family was the Frost family, and they kept the property for almost 100 years. They kept it in the family until they sold it in the 1940s. After that, for 20 years, it was a grocery store, a market. It was owned by Joseph and Mary Berger. And later, it was a flooring showroom, and then it became the judge's bench, which it has been for quite some time now. But our story comes from the time in the 1960s that this was a grocery store owned by the Burgers. The store was, doing well. They had a daughter. Her name was Mary, and Mary worked in the store. They had the store downstairs, and then the family lived in the floor up above. There's a second floor, and then there's an attic. Um, so um, at that time, however, Main Street wasn't doing so swell. It was kind of a high crime area. And in fact, it was so bad that nearby Fort Meade, a military base, was named Ellicott City off limits for all its personnel. They couldn't come here. It was off limits because it was so bad. So it wasn't the thriving neighborhood that it was today. Anyway, so the parents, the Burgers, really kept a close eye on their daughter Mary. They wouldn't let her date any of the men here in Ellicott City, any of the young men. Mary went to high school here and obeyed her parents, never dated. But after high school, after graduation, she fell in love with a young man from town. It was a customer, actually, that she met in the shop and waited on. Um, and he was a respectable person from a respectable family. However, her parents weren't buying it. They didn't want her to have anything to do with anyone here in Ellicott City, so they forbade her to see him and made her end the relationship. At the time, she was 19 years old. She was heartbroken. She waited until the store closed for the evening. Her parents went out, and she went up to the that third floor attic room, threw a rope over the rafters, wound it around her neck, and swung. Unfortunately, so nowadays customers report seeing her, seeing her spirit in the store. In fact, back then they claimed to have seen her spirit in the store right after her death. So her presence has been felt in the house over the years, the strongest in the attic. Um, Most of the things, the weird things that happened here, faucets turned on and off, roll of toilet paper completely unraveled in an empty room, things of that nature. There was a bartender who worked here and claimed to be a sensitive, and he claimed to have conversations with a spirit called Mary whenever he caught sight of her flying by. The bartender claimed to be in love with the spirit of the tragic young woman. Perhaps Mary Berger got her Ellicott City man after all. Yes? Today we've got the judge's bench. It's still a fine place to have lunch, have a drink, take a peek inside. There you go. Lots and lots of people in town. Boy, this is cool. I wasn't expecting all of this. Not really. I guess most of the shops giving candy are on the other side of the street. This store across the street, I like that store. I should go in there later. They have a lot of handmade sweaters and wool and things of that nature, ponchos, hats. Oh, look. I love when the adults dress up. They're very imposing, are they not?
Get down.
Oops. Trick or treat. Crowd control. Boy, it is getting pretty crowded here, huh? Trick or treat.
All right, I'm going to get some candy. Come on, go.
Go get some candy. Woo-hoo-hoo. We have another um, couple more spooky places to talk about coming up here. Wow, this is pretty cool. I didn't get. I didn't think I'd get to see so many trick or treaters. Truth be known, I decided to do this because I don't get enough trick or treaters at my house. It's not fun. I live on the end of a dark circle, you see.
Yeah? You are. Follow the line.
Okay. Okay, so this building here is worth the story. Okay, so this is the Howard County Welcome Center. This is where the Department of Tourism is. This is where you can find out all the information about the buildings and things here. Before it was this tourism place, it was a post office. In fact, the outside still looks like a post office. This was built as the new Ellicott City Post Office back in 1940. Before that, this plot of land here had 3 houses on it. Um, they were 3 individual homes that they demolished, and they built a funeral home, the Burley Funeral Home, which was one of 4 funeral homes here on Main Street. And I guess they were needed the way people die around here. Anyway, then it changed hands and it stayed a funeral home until the post office was built. Now, so 70 years later, right? The people that work for the county here in this building claim that there are still a few ghosts here needing service. Perhaps they were attached to the last place they felt a human touch, the funeral home. Or maybe they've lost their way. However, there are things that go bump in the night here, preceded by a strong and distinctive sweet floral fragrance, just like the smell of flowers in a funeral home. These assaults have been experienced by employees and visitors to this building. Once the tourism office moved to the first floor, a ghost appeared. The same employee smelled the roses, saw the spirit long enough to be able to describe her. Um, the vanishing woman became a big topic of conversation among the employees. They decided to give her a name. As the discussion talked about a name, the lights in the room started flickering. The phone rang, but no one was on the line. The staff decided to call her Caroline, but the strange noises persisted, as did the smell of those very sweet flowers. So it was a customer who set them all straight when she came in the building, apparently a sensitive. She sensed the unseen entity. It seemed the spirit wanted her to tell the staff that her name was not Caroline, but something that began with an L. The ghostly woman with the floral scent is now called Louisa, and there haven't been any more bumps in the night, just the smell of funeral flowers. Cool. Yes. Okay. Next, let's head on down the street.
No.
This mural is worth a look at.
I feel like I've tried.
Ellicott City in the snow. Really well done. Shows that's the lower end of Ellicott City where the railroad museum is and such. Okay, so across the street there is the Firehouse Museum. That was the original firehouse here in Ellicott City. Ellicott City has had a few firehouses, to be honest. Look at that old typewriter sitting on that old trunk. Hmm. Um, this one has its share of spirits. People in the museum have, heard strange noises, floors creaking with footsteps when there's no one about, and just things like that. Look at all the kitty cats. They're all kitty cats and things of that nature. No specific ghost named, but just a lot of strange noises. Though you have to wonder, these buildings, many of them are so old. Old floors do creak from time to time, I do believe. Lots and lots of people. People in sparkly costumes. Oop, green light. Look at the traffic. Holy guacamole, right? My goodness me. Ooh. Oh, there's my favorite candy store right there. Sweet Cat, Sweet Cascades Chocolatier. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Holy guacamole. Oh my goodness. They've got that totally decked out. That is the historic Howard House Apartments. Once upon a time, nobody good lived there. But before that, this was one time a very well to do hotel here in Ellicott City. Um, let's see, what do I know about it? Well, it's apartments again. That's mostly what it's been, hotel and or apartments. Let's see. Okay, so this was built around 1840. It's a pretty big building, actually. What's interesting is that it is built into the side of the hill. Um, oops. It's built into the side of the hill, and the that second floor with the second floor balcony, it has a door on the other side of the building that opens onto the street behind it. A lot of the buildings are built into the hills like that, and causing several to have entrances in different streets. It's pretty interesting, pretty amazing. Anywho, so looking at the front of the hotel, the third floor is the ground floor on the street behind, where it faces Church Road. That's the street behind it. At one time, this was one of the better lodging and dining establishments. It had a bar on the first floor, dining room on the second floor, and rooms to let above. Um, while there were undoubtedly lots of people, customers, people renting rooms here throughout the years, most of them presumably have checked out, but not all. Um, there was a medium who lived here, and she would have conversations with one of the former um, people who helped build this building. And he even had a name. His name was Dennis. And he was responsible for just making noises and crazy things going bump in the night, back to that again. And anyway, through research or what have you, come to find out this guy Dennis was a young man who had been killed when they were constructing, when they were building this house in the 1850s. Apparently, the boy had fallen through the roof on the church side of the street and died in the space between the tenant's kitchen and the living room, just where there had been complaints of cold spots in the room unexplained. So anyway, Dennis lives in the walls there. Go figure. And let's see. Next here, the old Ellicott City Country Store. It is a restaurant now. All four floors are open, or three floors actually. I don't think they let you in the attic. Hang on, let me get to a place where we can see it better. Okay, there it is. This building right now is, as I said, it's a cafe. It's a Syriana cafe. They have Mediterranean food, very, very delicious. Okay. This building was a private residence initially. It was built in 1790. Whoops. It was it was built in 1790. It was called the Chandler House, and because of the number of rooms it has, because of its size, when the Howard House next door here was full, they would hello, they would rent rooms here to take care of the overflow. So, according to the legend, the original owner, the first owner, a Mr. Walker, um, fell to his death from that second floor balcony where that lady's standing. He fell from the balcony to the ground on Main Street here and died. Don't know why. It apparently he took his knowledge of his last moments to the grave with him. There was speculation, of course, but nobody really knew what happened. Today, if you're sitting there on the balcony and such, it's been reported to see Mr. Walker taking a tumble several times a night, kind of like one of those endless loops, right? Where it just repeats, repeats, repeats. But if you're ever sipping coffee there, just keep an eye out for the tall, wispy shadow of a man dressed in old timey clothes taking a tumble down off the railing onto the street below. So, let's see, we've got another building. Let's go back up this way, see if we can get out of the crowd some. It's fun looking at all the little costumes, all the little kids and stuff. Oh, look at this. There's a crew of ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Whoa. Woo. Oh, Santa. No, no, it's not Christmas yet, is it? Oh, no. Let's see Santa. Come on, Santa. Roll around here. There you go. Ho, ho, ho. Have a merry one. Woohoo. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Don't want to get in the way of their photos there. Shoot. Okay, we've got some buildings to look at across the street, but I think we'll do it from this side. I don't know how close we're going to get. Happy Halloween! Trick or treat! Shoo! Lots of colorful costumes, eh? I love that all the stores have candy for the kids.
Have you ever gotten gourmet hot chocolate?
And for that, you work so hard.
I'm not working. Processes. Tough. It's just the effort of both.
Okay. Now, first building coming up on the right. Ooh, I should come back down here and get some candy my own self. I could, what could I pretend to be? Here is another mural that is well done. Old time Ellicott City, right? An old Ford. How cool. Life size, right? Oh, gosh, this is packed.
We also have some stickers as well. If you like a sticker.
Oh, my goodness. This is way cool. Way cool. Totally cool. All right. Here's a spot for me right here. All right. The building across the street there. The one with the porch lit up in the sun, or it was a minute ago anyway. Okay, so that is the old Disney Tavern. It's one of the oldest buildings still standing here. It's a duplex. It's 2.5 stories tall and dates back to 1790. Used to be called Deborah Disney's Tavern. Changed hands several times in its 200-year history. The place had a lot of people passing through. It was one of the last taverns on the way out of town. So people leaving would often stop here and have their final drink. Um, their ghost story, however, comes from more modern times when this was a bookstore. Actually, part of it still is a bookstore. Half of it is a bookstore. But once it was a full bookstore. And there was a resident here, a woman, who frequented these shops. Her name was Bernice Jackson. And she would visit the stores, and she was known as the Duchess of Main Street. And she had a distinct cologne that she wore, a special cologne that was made for her. And the store owners would generally smell her perfume before they actually saw her. So they could kind of smell her coming, right? Well, she lived with her husband in the apartment behind the shop, one of the shops here on Main Street where she worked. She died suddenly in 2002. Today, she continues her daily visits to the shops that she loves best. First, a shadow is seen approaching the door, followed by the scent of a very distinctive and familiar fragrance. Next up, whew, I'm going to grab myself a seat here. Okay, the building that we are looking at is, well, today it's the Phoenix. Um, Hang on one second. Let me get situated here. Uh, okay, the garage. Oh, got all the people here. I'm trying to get myself situated here. Okay, so the building that we're looking at, um, this was actually, there were a lot of taverns here because this one was a popular 1790s tavern. Um, again, it was one of the ones on the way out of town. Um, but in 1905, the property changed hands and it became a lumber yard. From 1905 until 1991, it was a lumber yard. Then the new owners turned it into a brewing company, which it is today. It's the Phoenix Emporium. And having survived the 2016 and 2018 floods. So it is here that the Shadow Man found his home. The Shadow Man is a gentleman whose story came during the Great Depression of 1929. In the Great Depression, a lot of families found themselves in dire financial straits. And the Talbert family, who owned the lumberyard, were no exception. To keep the business running, they had to cut back. And so one of their cutbacks was to lay off their accountant. Now, the loss of his job was just the first of many disasters that fell this man. Without an income, he lost his home, and then his wife divorced him for it. He became homeless and was forced to live in the woods along the river down by the mill at the end of Main Street. It was on a long holiday weekend when the townspeople saw him running erratically through the woods, through the lower part of Main Street, just, acting crazy. Police came to check on him, and he ran. He ran away. They tried to chase him, but then another call came in on the police radio, and they took off to pursue that instead. When the lumberyard opened again on Tuesday after the 3-day holiday, the manager made a very gruesome discovery. When he entered the store, he saw a shadow swaying in the stairwell leading to the upper floor. He found the company's former accountant hanging by his neck from the second floor rafters. But what was probably the most stunning development was that the the police report gave the time of his death as Friday evening. Um, so, who was it that people saw running through the woods on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? Meanwhile, back at the brewery today, employees report hearing strange noises that shouldn't be, whispers from voices not there, footfalls without feet, and a mysterious candle in the window of an upstairs room when no one's home. Could it be the former accountant, the shadow man, making his displeasure known? Perhaps, perhaps. Okay, now we've got one more. One more. As soon as I find it. Boy, this place is getting a little crazy here, isn't it? A little wild. All right. Ooh. Library, judge's bench, the lumber company. I think the next thing we're going to do is the firehouse, which is here up the street. Well, it's not a firehouse anymore. It was a firehouse once upon a time. Woo. Traffic jam on the street. Oh my goodness, this place is packed. Holy guacamole. Got other things in. Okay, all right. Coming up on the right, this building with all the spider web on the balcony and the cupola on top. That was the second Ellicott City Firehouse after that little firehouse on Church Road down there at the end of the street. This was the firehouse for probably the longest period of time. So today it is the wine bin, which is a wine store, obviously. Let's go over here for a sec. Okay. All right. This is good. Take a load off my feet here. Get out of the crowd, of which there is a lot of. So, lots and lots of people. Albert Lumber. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the wine bin. The story goes that when it was a firehouse, um, the whenever when it was a firehouse, whenever the fire company would go out on a call, they would lock the front doors of the firehouse. When they would come back, the doors would be open, waiting for them as if somebody opened them, only there wasn't anyone there. Many times at night, they had a fire dog, firehouse dog, and at nighttime, when they would be sitting in, the main room watching television or whatever, the dog would start growling and start looking down a hallway where there was no one. There, hallway with a door at the end, and would, just kind of growl and kind of whine. And one night in particular, the dog went running down the hall and was scratching on the door, as if he was trying to, get in there. Is something there. So the firemen opened the door, and of course, there was nothing in there. Well, one of the older firemen in the company told them about a fire chief years ago who had his room at the end of the hallway, and that he had died there in the building, had a heart attack, and when he died, his dog stayed with him and alerted everybody eventually, that something was wrong. The dog was whining. The original dog had been carrying on like the fire dog that was reacting to it. So again, there are just so many stories here in this town. It's an old town, um, with just so much history and so many events, tragic and otherwise, that it's just a haven for ghosts. That's about all I can say. So, I think we'll end this here. I hope you had some enjoyable Halloween scenery here with all the costumes and the people and the spooky stories. And I'll be back again, I'm sure, to do more of my Halloween ghost stories. Again, I accept tips at Buy Me a Coffee. You can find the link on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Let me turn this around here so I can say a proper goodbye. And there I am, back again. Okay, so enjoy your weekend, and hope you have a nice Halloween. Bye.